So, in their latest effort to save their leader, House Republicans, mostly Jim Jordan, have subpoenaed records from Authentic Campaigns, the company that Judge Juan Merchan's daughter works for. Now, Judge Marchand's daughter has been a favorite target of Trump and his allies. Donald Trump is gagged and prevented from talking about her specifically, but his allies still can. And they've been spreading this conspiracy theory since well before the trial even started that there's some link, they can't prove a link, but that there's some link between the Biden administration, the judge's daughter, and obviously that would connect them to the judge. And that's why Donald Trump got indicted, even though the indictments were brought by Alvin Bragg and a grand jury of New York citizens. And that Judge Merchan needs to recuse himself, even though Judge Merchan went to the board, told him about this alleged conflict. The Bar Association said, no, there's no conflict, and he proceeded with the case. The judge already looked into it to make sure there wasn't a conflict, and there's not. But they keep pushing this. So now Jim Jordan has subpoenaed this Authentic Campaigns company for any records from their contact with Judge Marchand. And the company has previously already said they don't exist. But now they're subpoenaing for these records again and said basically, prove to us that these records don't exist. And if you can't produce these records, we need a sworn affidavit under oath that these records don't exist. What are you afraid of, basically? And now this is probably going to end up in court and get tossed out because once again, the federal government has no jurisdiction trying to investigate into state level crimes. And there's no crime here. There's nothing other than Jim Jordan trying to bully this company into doing what it wants. They're trying to force this company to prove something doesn't exist. They're saying, we know it exists. We can't prove it exists, but we know these records are there. So prove to us that they're not there. Do you see how ridiculous that sounds? And not to mention, this is Jim Jordan. The same Jim Jordan who was subpoenaed by the January 6th committee and ignored that subpoena. That we are going on almost 2 years of him ignoring a congressional subpoena himself. So the hypocrisy is real. But ultimately, they're pushing for it again, and I think that's because on the 18th, that is when sentencing is currently scheduled for Donald Trump in that Manhattan District election interference hush money case. And they're trying to come up with any link that they can use to prove that if Donald Trump does get sentenced to prison or whatever, that it was political. They cannot accept the fact that Donald Trump just committed crimes and was found guilty for committing crimes. Or they can't accept it and they're just okay with this idea that Donald Trump committed crimes. Either way, it's not very good. So I'm hoping Jim Jordan does get voted out of the House. Remember, Jim Jordan has never passed a piece of legislation. He's voted on legislation that has passed. He has never authored a bill that has been brought up for a vote, and he has never authored or co-authored a bill that has passed the U.S. House of Representatives and made it into law. So the hypocrisy with Jim Jordan is real, but he's going to keep trying this stuff, even though every time he just looks stupid trying to do it. The American people is sick and tired of the MAGA bullshit covering this stuff. I think that is why we are going to take back the House in November, and it is going to be by a wide margin.